All right. So, guys, how are we doing today? Yeah, so we can drop messages in the chat if you can hear me. If you can hear me clearly, let me see those messages in the chat, in the comment section. Hi, Binta, how are you doing today? Awesome. All right. So we are actually going to be building. I'm going to walk you through, the process of actually building an application with Vue, right? A few days ago, we already created. Nice, nice. Okay, Odibas, yes, well done. So a few days ago, we created APIs that you guys will consume. So for this week, we are going to be working on a simple Vue Js project, right? And I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share my screen, show you, what we want you to build, right? Of course, we also have the Figma design, right? That will also be shared with you. So you're going to work from HTML, CSS, Vue, and yeah. Also, of course, you're going to be testing with the API. So that is going to be an interesting one. You will make API requests. You work with forms, right? Um, so yes, we have the complete code base, right, prepared, but we want to see the respective teams build something actually. Okay, we want to see the respective teams build something. So I'm seeing a couple of people in the chat. Oh yeah, hello, Esther. Good evening. Hello, Chrisophobe. Hello, Dima Chris. Yeah, nice. Okay, so we are going to be sharing. Let me share my screen. I'm going to share the Figma link to you guys, right? But I am still going to, do like a quick walkthrough. So I'm going to share my screen. Let us discuss Excalidraw. Let me pull up Excalidraw while I share my screen. Okay, let's see. Why is this not opening? Why is this not opening? All right, just 1 minute, guys. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Trying to figure out why Excalidraw. Is it a URL thing? Let me see. Oh, yeah, it is. Let's try that again. Excalidraw. Okay. Share my screen. My entire screen. Share. No, not here. Not here. Not here. Not here. Stop share. Sorry, that was the wrong screen. Let's do that again. Screen one. Okay. All right. So I believe you can see my screen now. Okay. So let's start by taking this off. All right. And this is what you're going to be building, right? This is what you're going to be building right here. Okay. I also have that Figma design. Let's see. I think this is it. Okay, so it's a link shortener, application, just a single page, right? It's just a single page, and we want you guys to rebuild this with Vue, right? Okay, so the first one I shared earlier was this is also built with Vue. You see, it's quite simple. Just put in, select a domain name, create a short link. Let's assume my website, for example, consulting, right? You can put a custom back half. If you have used bit.ly, then you know how this works. If you don't put a custom back half, you can just, that also works, right? Click on create short link, and we have that short link. Of course, this is just a random domain name, we purchased to show this example, but we have, you guys would have to do this and make it work offline, right? So not necessarily with a domain name. So I can copy this, right? And of course I can click to open this, right? You see it basically redirects to this particular consulting page on my website. Okay, so that is what we are going to be rebuilding, something very simple as this. Okay, and yeah, so I would share the design. Okay, I will share the design with you guys as well. let us quickly, look at how we basically build this in terms of the process, right? So we're not going to be building a backend. You don't have to build a backend. We have not gotten to that point just yet. We are going to be working on the front end, right? We're going to specifically focus on the front end. I don't think you guys can see my screen very well. I don't know what did I click? Okay, I believe this makes sense, right? I think this is much better. Okay, so yeah, so we're going to make an assumption here. You're working with an organization, right? This is you, the dev, right? Let's just say the front end dev, okay? So front end developer, so front end dev, and you are asked to build this solution, right? So of course you are given a Figma design. So you're given a Figma design. These are the items that you are provided with. So Figma design, right? And you are probably given the API endpoints as well, endpoints. So basically, you don't need to wait to get the API endpoints before you can even start building, right? So don't be one of those developers that says, "Oh, I want to see the endpoints." I mean, we're talking about front end here, okay? So you don't necessarily need to get the endpoints. When you have your Figma designs, you can actually start working on something, right? Yes, you can also decide to focus on the functions, maybe the functionality. If you are told that we want you to build an application that can do A, B, and C, right? You can actually start, doing some setup before you get the Figma design, right? But of course, you probably want to request for that, and it must not be Figma. It can be, Sketch. It can be um, InVision. I think InVision Studio just shut down. I'm not. I think so. Yeah, I think I got that email. So it can be Adobe XD, right? Or any other design tool. Okay. So you might receive some of these links. Yeah, to maybe like a Zeppelin link if it was worked on with Adobe XD or Sketch, or you can even receive that Adobe XD link as well. All you have to do, of course, is pick up that design. You spend some time working on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then you decide to move what you've done into your Vue project, right? Or sometimes you can just decide to set up your Vue project and you start working straight into your Vue project. Okay, so this is kind of like the process. You pick up the Figma design, you finish up with that implementation using HTML, CSS. Okay, let's just say HTML and CSS, and then you create your Vue project, right? So this is your Vue project. Okay, of course you have some of those. You have your Vue router and all those items set up within your Vue project. So you then choose to migrate what you have from here into Vue. Now you can decide to go this route, but depending on how large your project is, you probably want to just build or code straight inside your Vue project. So this is the first option I just mentioned, and I find a lot of developers, do this, right? But it also makes sense to say I just create my Vue project using the Vue CLI, right? And instead of doing this, I mean, if it's a simple project, then you can just use Vue CDN, right? Remember, Vue CDN. That can actually do everything. I mean, if it's a simple project, right? But if it's something complex, then you probably want to go with Vue CLI. So you set up your project and then you just jump straight into creating your views, right? So you can jump straight into creating your views, and you can basically work, directly within those views. Okay, so you can just create the views and components, um, and then you just build straight, build or write your code. So let's just say write your code. Okay. So depending on how you choose to work, if you are working on a simple project and you're using CDN, it's fine. If you prefer to just use CLI for every kind of project, to build a single page application, it is also fine, right? Okay, so when you're done implementing the basics of the UI, right? You have your probably your flex or your grid, you have your card, you have the form within the card, you have your image. This is a drop down, a select field, right? And then you have two input fields right here. This is compulsory, I believe, right? Okay, and you see that when when you don't have any item in here, or if a domain is not selected, this button doesn't come up, right? But if both are actually selected, then this comes up, right? So which means when it is not when it doesn't have any item, it's probably disabled, and when it has something, it is enabled. Okay, and then you can style enabled and disabled, input for this submit input type. Okay, so you have your label or your p tag, and then you have your link tag, and you also have a way to click and copy. So we're using some sort of modal, right? Which can also be a plugin. In this case, we're using what we call Toast, Vue Toast, right? Or you can also use Toastify. Now, these are plugins, and you can simply install these plugins and use them. I'm going to do like a walkthrough in the code, but of course, you guys are going to build yours, right? And it's going to be interesting, when you work on this. Trust me, working with forms, making API requests. Currently, this project does not have any, state management with Pinia or Vuex. We're not doing that. It's straightforward, click and fire, right? So, yeah, yeah. So let's see. All right. So if that is the route you choose to go with, you just have to, create that CLI project, and of course, write your code directly within your Vue project. Okay. So when you're done, of course, the next step is to think about, deployment and testing. We have not gotten to that, right? But I'm sure we'll get to that, in a few months from now. Okay. So deployment and testing. As a matter of fact, I think we can also use this as an opportunity to show you how to deploy your front-end applications using things like Cloudflare pages, maybe Netlify, maybe GitHub pages, right? We'll mention some of them. We have what's it called, Vercel, right? So you can basically host your single page applications for free on these platforms, and I will show you how to do that in a different session. Okay, I'll show you how to do that in a different session. We are going to be very active on Discord going forward, so I expect you to be on Discord, ask your questions on Discord if you have any, and you can simply tag me. You can tag the moderators, and I will definitely respond to you if you have questions with your HTML, CSS, or Vue, journey. Okay. All right, so this is what I have right here. After development, you probably want to deploy to one of those platforms I mentioned. Let us quickly do a walkthrough. Because of the situation of the network, I don't want us to take too much time on this call, right? I want you guys to just jump into working on the code base already. All right. So yes, we have the API, but we're not going to talk too much about the API. This is the API that basically manages what you've seen, right? So we're not going to mention or dive deep into this, right? We're going to focus on the UI level here. So this is our project. Of course, this has a different structure from what you might have seen. Let me zoom in on this. Okay, let's zoom in. So this has a different structure. As you can see, this does not. Let's exit that. Come on, exit. Okay, so this does not really, have the same structure like the direct, view project, right? This is basically a Nox project, okay? But you guys are going to rebuild this with Vue. Very similar. As you can see, we have the components, right? So Nox is what we call a meta framework, right? It's a framework sitting on top of Vue. So follow the same approach. Anything you can do in Vue, you can also do it Nox, and it will work. But Nox gives you some additional functionalities that make it um, I would say, yeah. So it basically gives you some additional functionalities, and of course gives you server-side, rendering if you want to do server-side rendering. But it doesn't matter, right? You can simply create your project, your Vue project. You see, we have, a component for button, which is not, needed on your own project, right? These are just some additions because apart from the page I presented, we have, more pages, right? But you don't need to work on those pages, right? You don't need to work on those pages. If I go back to that website, let's see. If I go back to that website, you see we have more pages, right? When I click on this, for example, but you don't need to do all this. All I need you to do is this page. and then you would have an API that you can simply, connect to and send that request to. Okay, so you don't need to do all this in your own projects. All right, so let's come back. So you see that modal you saw. This is the modal you saw, client configuration, right? This is the modal you saw right there. Okay, and for the form itself, let's go to the pages, app, and index.view. So this is basically what you saw on that form. So we have like the style, right? We have the style. We have the JavaScript code. I'm sure you saw the confetti sign, right? So that confetti sign, or I would say the effect, right? Let's call it the confetti effect. So if I click on this, for example, this effect you're seeing here, right? So that is from this library, okay? So adding this library is not complex, right? You just have to add a single URL, to your configuration page. In your own case, you just have to add that URL to your index.html page within the Vue project, right? So you have the index.html page within the Vue project. Yeah, so you just have to include that link, and then this would start working automatically. For the toasts, right? For the toast you're seeing here, you see that we have an import, right? So this is not complex. Forget about, don't try to pay so much attention to the code. You just have to start doing this, right? And then you figure out that it's something you do, it's something you understand better as you work on the project, right? So this is a library that was also installed. It's called Vue3 Toastify, right? So you would install that library and simply use it in your project as well. This is the data that we are sending, to the backend, right? Generated link, destination link, custom back half, optional. The destination link, if it's valid or invalid, we use this to basically perform that check, right? Selected website is the drop down you saw there. The loading is what determines the loading spinner on the button, right? And then we have our, templates. Okay, we have the templates. We have the generated link that you saw right here after it's been generated. We have the let's say click to copy. Yeah, that p tag you saw there. Okay, so we have the button itself with the loading spinner as well. All right, so that was not even a component. You see, that is just a direct button. Okay, we have the remaining input fields, the custom back half. We have the destination link. We have the select drop down, right, with those websites, with those website URLs. So you see, it is not as complex as you might be thinking about it, right? So you just have to start working on it. This is the API request you saw. So we're making that API request to jobtunnel.xyz/shorten. So this is the API request for shortening that link, right? Yeah. So we also pass in some credential, and the reason for that credential is so that people will not just misuse it, but in your own case, you don't need to work on a credential whatsoever, because the link we're going to be giving to you is a demo link. And after the test, after the session, we're going to shut it down. Okay, hope that makes sense. All right, so someone is asking a question. Can you explain that interface with domain name and destination? Okay, so I think I just explained it now, right? So the domain name is just showing the domain or the guys that are trying to use this. It doesn't really mean anything special, right? Because we're saving this in a database on the back end. So destination link is the link that you want to shut, all right? And the custom back half is if you want to put your own custom back half. So for example, I can say consult one, right? So if I say consult one and I generate that new link, now we have jobtunnel.xyz/consult one. And when I open that up in a new page, it is simply going to, take me to the consulting page. Okay. So it redirects to the consulting page. And yeah, if I don't put that, I mean, if I try to use the same link, the same custom link again, it says custom back half already exists, which means I can't use this, right? Same way, if I generate a new link and it gives me a shortened link, if I copy that particular short link and I try to reuse it again, it is still going to tell me that the custom back half already exists. So it has to be something unique. All the links, short link has to be unique. Okay, so that is one thing you should know. All right, so I want to know if you have if there's anything about this UI that you don't understand, right? Because I don't want to keep you guys for so long. We've spent 20 minutes already here. I want us to just go into the Discord, discuss with our respective groups. If you are not on Discord, make sure you join Discord, right? Join our server. The link is on the WhatsApp group so that you can, join a team and you can start building already with the team. I'm sure by tomorrow, the respective teams should start working on this once you get the link to the Figma page. The link to the Figma page will be dropped immediately after this call on Figma. So you have to head down to, it will be dropped on Discord. So you have to head down to Discord, grab the link, work with your team, and start building this already, right? This has to be completed before the end of the week. And I'm very sure you guys will complete this before the end of the week because I can see that when it comes to implementing the interface, the UI, you guys are doing pretty well. You're fast, and I believe those that are not very good with HTML and CSS would have the opportunity to catch up with the others. Okay, so you have the opportunity to learn. All right, so be open to learning. Okay, no one is intimidating you whatsoever. So be open to learning because that is simply why we're here. That is simply why we're doing this. So head down to Discord. Simply visit topuniverse.org/Discord. Right, join the WhatsApp group, and you would also find the link right there. When you get to Discord, we have the 300 Dev Days channel. The link to this design will be dropped on that channel. All right. So I want to know if you have more questions before we end this session. All right. If you have more questions, you can drop that in the chat. All right. So I'll give you 2 minutes to do that so that we can end the session and you guys can start brainstorming at least on the server. All right. So yeah, I'm waiting for questions. So please go ahead and drop those questions in the chat. All right, so guys, I'm still waiting for questions. Okay, so we have a few minutes, probably just 1 or 2 minutes more. Drop your questions in the chat based on what we've covered already. All right, and for those of you that are probably just joining, I think you can go back to this video. We just did a quick review of what we are going to be working on for the week, right? Using Vue. Okay. Um, Okay, so must one use HTML and CSS to build, or you can just use, I think I mentioned that, Dima, right? You can just create your Vue project and start working directly within Vue. Okay, so you can just dive into your terminal. Let's clear this. All right, let's do CD, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in a lot. Let's say zoom in. Okay, good. So we can just go to desktop. Let's go into 300 dev days view. So you can just do npx create. Is it npx? Let's see. What's that command again? I keep forgetting that command. npm probably create view at latest. Yeah. So we can just run that command. Are we still going to be learning React? You are still going to be learning React, right? So we really want to make sure that you guys build something with this. You're going to be learning React, and after that, you can go ahead and learn as many frameworks as you want to learn. All right. So yeah, go ahead and set up your Vue projects. Link or URL shortener. Okay. So no TypeScript for now. View router, yes. Pinyard, nope. Vtest, no, no. All right. So we don't need either of this. You can use this. Okay. So cd URL shortener, npm install, and npm run dev. So you can start working on your project within Vue. Okay, um, within this Vue project that we have created, right? So I'm not going to build this for you, but you can simply go into views, and you can use one of these pages as your main view. All right. right? So you can start styling, you can start, working on the HTML code here. You can call this your main view, you can call it index. You can delete this guy, right? And you can simply go to your view router and configure, probably start by configuring app.view, take this off, have router view in there. We don't need this, we don't need this, okay? So we don't need any of this as well. All right. So you can just now that you have router view, jump into router index, right? And basically render the index page here. Okay. So we can call this index. This is not very visible on my end. Just like I mentioned, the bad network thing. I think it actually just threw me off the call. I was trying to share something. Okay, I think someone is asking, um, are we working on an app that will shorten a link or more information on the project to be shared? So I think we already shared those information. You'll probably check the recording again, so we don't have to go back. Okay. I'm still struggling with the difference between an app or a website. This link shortener is it an app or a website? Okay. So long you have user actions, right? Taiwo. So long you have user actions, it's an app. All right. It is not a mobile app. It's a web app. Okay. So long you have user actions like people are not just visiting that page and scrolling through that page without when you're performing a user action, right? It's enough. It's interactive. Okay. That makes it an app. I hope that makes sense to you. Um, yeah, so the network threw me off the call, and I don't want that to happen again. So I am pretty much uh, going to stop here, right? I was trying to show how you can simply go about setting up your Vue project real quick. It was a fast one. I know it was a fast one. I also know that some of you probably saw my screen. You saw what I was presenting, right? So this is what I was presenting. As you can see right here, I have that index page, and I can simply say, H1, this is my app. Okay. So this is pretty much what I have. And if I execute this code, if I run this code, the home page is going to give us this, index page, right? So you can simply start writing your code in here for your templates. You can put in your style in here as well, right? And you pretty much have your application rendered on the home page, right? So this is what you need to do. So this is what you need to do. I already have Vue router configured. So
Hello, Mav.
yeah, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. It's my network. Apologies. So I don't think I
Okay.
have to say anymore, right? The link will be dropped on Discord, and you guys can just head over to Discord to grab that link. All right. I think the attendance was shared already as well. I can't find it, but I believe it was shared. So please go ahead, fill that attendance, and yeah, so I'll see you guys on Discord. The link will be dropped there, and I'll be expecting all the team leads to start, organizing their team starting tomorrow, so that we can have this, out by the end of the week. So, team leads, please, do what you have to do. Have a wonderful evening. I'll see you guys next time. Uh, yeah, I thought I answered. Yeah, I answered that question already. Anyways, bye guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right.